everyone, welcome to Sports Company with me, Rishi and Adi. Oh man, I don't know what to say, but you just love it when these things happen. Pakistan have delivered yet again in a World Cup stage. Oh my god, I don't know what to say. I don't know where to begin. But dude, if any World Cup is going dull and you need a moment where something
Pakistan is
happens
always there.
and yeah, it goes to life, it's always Pakistan. Pakistan is always involved. And wow, I mean, I don't know what to say. USA beat Pakistan in a super over. In truth, it should never have gone to a super over for me, but it did. And yeah, it's some horrific bowling in the in the super over from Mohammad Amir, and it was backed up by some really poor fielding as well. So yeah, I think there's so many things to talk about as when it comes to Pakistan. First thoughts, Rishi, on this crazy performance. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. You don't expect this. We expect it from Pakistan when it comes to teams who are at least a little accomplished. The Islands, the Scotlands, to lose to USA. I mean, it's a new low even for them.
See, I mean, fair enough that USA are not as accomplished as your Netherlands, your Irelands, but to be fair, they have good players. Like Netravalkar came in and bowled a really good spell. The ball he got Rizwan out with is a very good ball, and the
Yep.
shots that players like Monang Patel, the shots that Andreas Goose is playing, is in nowhere you can say that okay, you know what, that's like an associate nation cup player playing. That those are textbook shots. That the cover drives that Monang Patel hit, the pull shots that Andreas Goose were hitting, they were all textbook shots. So of course that US on paper Pakistan should never be losing to them, but fair enough, they played excellent cricket. And as much as it is Pakistan's problem that they should have never been in the situation that they should have, fair play to US for showing up and putting some of the best performances of their lives.
Yep. Adi, when they put up whatever close to 160 on the board, did you think it was enough? Or do you think like at that point maybe they could get the job done? Shadab really, I think, pulled them out. They were really in big trouble. If not for that innings from Shadab Khan, and Shaheen Shah, of
I
course,
know,
helped
please.
out with that 23. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, firstly, again going back to US, big congrats to them the way they played. If you're talking about target, I feel like in T20 any target is always low, right? If you always look at 160s, you could always say we could have scored an extra 20 runs, 25 runs. So in T20 it's always going to be like you'll always look to score another extra 20, 25 runs. And the way Pakistan batted yesterday, there was easily another 20, 25 runs from their perspective, their quality. I mean, if you're talking about them reaching 160 from the innings they had, right? You can easily say they could have scored easily 180s, 185s if they batted properly and they actually knew how to take in. I mean, that's the problem. I feel like you look at both the teams, the way they batted, it's a huge contrast. Pakistan, it's a very clueless form of batting plan they had. I didn't think they knew what to do, how to react to situations and go forward. Rizwan got out in the beginning, unlucky. You can say unlucky for him, but also great piece of fielding, from the US side. And after that, the next two batsmen, they came. This is very erratic shots and two simple catches. Like it was very erratic from them. It was not needed. And it was straight to the fielder. I mean, you're going for a six, you need to go for a six where you have a gap or if there is a gap to hit a six in. I mean, both the shots where they tried to hit a six, it went straight to the fielder. I mean, there was no point of playing that shot. And after that, there was a huge, as we said, after the top three, top four go down, the middle orders, it depends. They're also very erratic. Sometimes they perform well, sometimes they didn't. And the way Pakistan played, even Babar Azam, the way he played was very slow in terms of he didn't even look to rotate the strike and and play for singles, right? He could have easily done that yesterday. It was not a very difficult pitch where he couldn't just the bounce of the ball or the pace of the ball. It was a decent wicket. You could have always scored runs yesterday. When you look at US, they were playing measured cricket. They knew what the target was. They were taking singles. They were rotating strike, especially the what was it like? Who was batting? I'm sorry, I forgot the name. Manak Patel
Monang
and
Patel.
Govind. The way they played, they scored boundaries at the right time. They rotated singles. I mean, they didn't play a lot of dot balls. They kept rotating, and that was what led them to a victory yesterday. Because after the 16th over, they stopped scoring runs. I mean, they didn't hit the boundary for like 30 balls, if I'm not wrong. So they stopped scoring runs, and the beginning partnership is what helped them in the end. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it was exactly. I think one side it was controlled. I thought US were in control of the chase for most parts. After 16th over, they kind of fell off, but for most parts, I think kudos to them for having a measured approach. Monang Patel found the boundary when it was needed. Same with Andres Kaus. Both of them played their way through, rotated strike. On the other hand, Babar Azam looked quite clueless and nervous. Rishi, I think you don't associate it with him, but he really looked out of sorts yesterday. And he looked like he was struggling.
I mean, right from the starting, he was, but at the starting, he was looking to, push for the singles, push, rotate, strike, and stuff. But when you have wickets falling all around you and players are coming in, they're trying all sorts of shots. Like Fakar Zaman came in, he played a couple of really good shots and then got out the way he did. I felt him and Azam Khan's wicket were two absolutely unnecessary wickets, which they gifted it to US. So when you have things like that also happening, you just have to somehow survive. And Pakistan traditionally they have their on-field, their antiques, their lack of communication when it comes to running between the wickets. Like you could hear them. You could hear like now that the stump mics are also there, you can actually hear the chaos that is happening when they're trying to run between the wickets. So all that, and I think the main part was that, like Ali said, they were not rotating strike as much as US. Like US, of course, Monang Patel and Andreas Gauss, they got their periodic boundaries through, but the most important thing was they were getting their singles and their doubles as well. They were never short of run flow. They could have consistently having 7 over runs, 8 over runs. They were having to large parts of the game till Monang Patel actually got out. So I think that was their main missing part. Like, and it was not just Babar missing the track. Of course, he was not on top of his game, but the US did an excellent job in controlling them because you see, until like except for Shadab's wicket, everyone else, the minute they tried to push, the minute they tried to get on the front foot, they lost their wicket. So in such a scenario, what do? You can't go out of your way and play like you can't force yourself into the fourth and fifth gears. You have to take your time and go through. That's why when Shadab got going, that coincided with Babar also managing to get a few runs on board.
Yep. And again, like I said, kudos to the bowlers as well. Netrawalkar, of course, came in handy. Left armer doesn't have a lot of pace, but he bowls good areas and he can hit the Yorker like we've seen. Ali Khan, I thought, was really good at the death as well. He did his job pretty well. And Nostush Kenjinge is a Bangalore boy, in fact. Dana Sagar, apparently. So, pretty cool, dude. I mean, I think the way they performed and the way they played, really hats off to them. And but you just have to think about one thing, which is the body language of Pakistan. Anytime something like this is happening, I don't remember if it was a T20 World Cup or a 50-over World Cup where they lost to Zimbabwe. It was a couple of years ago. I don't know if you guys remember it. Very similar. Dude, the heads would drop. Everyone, there's not one person cheering bowlers on. And Babar is having a go at bowlers left, right, center. He's belting Haris Rauf, whoever it is, it doesn't matter. And I'm just like, dude, that's not the sign of a good leader. Like, what are you doing? Adi, imagine we did that in a cricket game that we are playing. I don't think any bowler would have any confidence left to bowl.
I mean, we show more passion when we play in our Gardenia cricket. Or
I swear, exactly. When we show
We
way more
support our
passion.
players. We have better communication in terms of like what we can do in terms of batting, bowling. Dude, that's the major surprise. You even look at the super over. Let's just take the entire game out of context and only look at the super over. For example, I'm sitting and watching the super over, right? New cricket fan. I look at the way US played. Every ball, they scored 17 runs in that super over, but they
18,
only hit 18, and they only hit
They,
one
they,
six.
they,
That's
they
it.
didn't score 17
1-4,
runs.
no
They,
sixes.
they
Sorry,
scored
1-4.
They scored much less. They were given a lot more runs in the most comical
8
fashion.
extras.
It is, there are two things, okay? Firstly, in terms of the wicket keeper, let's talk about Rizwan.
Oh my
I'm,
god.
I'm, I've never, even though he is a good player, so important for, Pakistan. But I'm sorry if you put even Azam Khan or Rizwan, I still think they would have taken the single so easily. As a
Yeah.
wicketkeeper, you can't let them take singles that easily. He dove, he caught the ball, he didn't bother to throw at the wicket even once. He was just frustrated the entire time in the super over. Like two, three times there were white balls where it went back to him. It was a tough catch. He caught it well, but the after effect of a keeper is you catch it and you put pressure on the batsman regardless. You throw it towards the wickets. There was no intent. He just took it. He was frustrated. He threw the ball on the ground like twice, and one he threw it at Amir.
One, yeah, it went out
Yeah,
for the double again.
yeah. I was like, you're the captain, first of all. I mean, I'm sorry, you're the wicket keeper. You need to ensure, firstly, they're not able to take singles because it's a super over. You only have 1 over. And the way these guys ran, Aaron Jones just kept running for this fun of it. And it was so easy for him to take singles, doubles. It was very easy for them. And one more thing is, even Amir was very frustrated with the fielding.
Yeah.
He
He
kept
was.
shouting at the fielders. One shot went out to the boundary, like he threw it towards the keeper instead of throw it towards Amir. I mean, you could not see any communication for fielder to even throw it at. Like generally, if I'm a fielder, I catch it, throw it back to the keeper. Amir needs a shout saying throw it towards me. Nothing's there. And then they get frustrated, like, oh, and then they start shouting at each other. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Like that's
I
how they are.
swear. I
And their
swear. I
body
mean,
language
it's
is one more
ridiculous.
thing. Like straight from Rizwan. I feel like Rizwan is the keeper. He's the closest person to the bowler. He needs to give him some guidance. That's the thing. In the super over, you could see Amir struggling. Nobody came, spoke to him, tried to tell him what to do. It was just Amir going back, bowling the same ball again, goes for a wide. He comes back, he balls the same ball again, goes for a wide. It happened 3 times. I mean, no Babar Azam, no Rizwan. These two are the senior players. They didn't come, try to talk him, cool down. Because you could see Amir being very emotional, right? In these situations, you need a cool head where someone comes and calm them down, say it's okay if you're screwing it up, like ball these kind of line and length. Like there was nothing. And you look at US on the other side, an associate nation, they were ready to run for their life. Each ball they knew, like Aaron Jones knew, I'm going to leave the wicket early, take the single, no matter what. Even if I get out, I'll put pressure on the keeper, and it worked for them. They knew how to play the super over. They planned it well, and they executed well. And coming up from an associate nation, that's what I said. If I came as a neutral fan without knowing about cricket at all, I would think USA has been playing cricket for a while, and Pakistan is the team that's trying to catch up to USA. That's how it was, literally.
No, 100%. Because I think Rizwan's antics, usually, I'm like, I just don't get it. Brothers laughing during the
I
bowling
was
innings.
surprised looking at Rizwan just not even trying to put pressure by throwing, bro. Like that was
He
like the
doesn't.
most up. And the one throw he threw it out of anger towards Amir, and it was a bad throw, and it became an overthrow. I'm like, how can you lose your cool at these kind of
Yeah.
moments? This is the T20 World Cup. It's not some random match where you're just
Yeah.
playing as a warm up match. They literally played it like a warm up match. I'm not even joking.
Dude, and I feel like Rizwan provides nothing on the field, like he's not talking, he doesn't do anything, he's laughing, he's, I don't know, God knows what. On top of that, when the captain asks him whether he should go up for the review, he's got absolutely no idea. They take two absolutely ridiculous reviews, both pitching outside leg. I have no idea what's going on there. Rizwan again offering zero help. And then you go to Mohammad Amir. Look, Mohammad Amir, again, fair stuff. He bowled well in the game. But when it comes to the super over, you've got Harmeet Singh, who's a new batter. He hasn't faced a ball in the entire game. Instead of bowling to him, you even bowl length to him. We'll see what he does because he hasn't played a ball. I don't know what he's trying to just let him bat, let him at least try to score runs. I didn't get it. But anyways, Pakistan, they did that. And then, of course, after that, the outcry comes and whatever. Wasim Akram was in commentary. I'm sure he was pissed. Wakar Yunus was in commentary as well. So,
Even
yeah, I mean, that
Rami
was
Raja
that.
was on commentary.
Yeah, yeah. Again, Ramiz Raja was there as well, exactly. So I think there's fair frustration. Is there, if they lose to India, you think it's done for them?
I mean, yeah, at this point it looks difficult. Like I'm not gonna lie, it's not a pretty picture for Pakistan anymore. They have an uphill battle. But if see, I pretty much expect India to beat everyone like in the group. So
Okay.
that imminent loss to US is coming, and I think that is where Pakistan could try and capitalize. But the interesting thing is now that US has seen through Pakistan, their opponents pretty much are India. Of course, they're not gonna expect that 2 points bank with them. They're gonna go all out for Ireland and Canada. So
No,
of course,
Canada's
it
done.
now. No, sorry,
They only
India
have
and
Ireland left.
Ireland.
Yeah.
So it now it's pretty much the ball is in US's court.
Yeah.
Now, if they do their job, regardless if Pakistan beat India, they still could not. Like which I don't expect them to. It's still going to be an uphill battle because
Yeah.
dude, they should not have lost. Like of course we were predicting, okay, like for fun that okay, US are going to win. They have a chance. I mean, they played well as well, but with the amount of experience, dude, I saw a tweet saying US players they don't have central contracts. USA
Yeah. Yeah.
Cricket
Yeah.
Board, they give them $250 a day. All of them have their jobs. This is not their primary job, although they must spend a considerable amount of time. On the contrary, Pakistan players have Pakistan Super League. They have their central contracts. They have their revenues coming. They have this is their profession. Dude, this is literally professional full-time cricketers who train all around the year coming and showing this. That's what shocked me. Like the US players who probably have, other priorities in life. They're doing other things for their means of survival and coming and doing this are showing more effort and passion. More than
Mm.
effort, they're showing more passion. They wanted more on the field than Pakistan. That is what was surprising to me. Like, and I'm sure that is what must infuriate the Pakistani fans as well. Even the legends, Wasim Akram, even Ramiz Raja. I'm sure if you saw Pakistan give their honest, passionate effort, and you saw them that okay, fine, we did our best, but US on their day they just happened to play better cricket. Nobody's gonna go home frustrated,
Yeah.
no matter who it is. They play a bunch of amateurs. If one person has their day, of course you can't do anything. It's a team sport. One person can one like you see Monang Patel coming, Andreas Gauss coming in and playing well. You can't do anything about it because these are new conditions. That would have completely changed the narrative. Nobody can blame it on these XYZ players. You see now people are blaming Rizwan's attitude. You're seeing fielders not even in the super over. I'm seeing fielders coming in the deep. They are jogging when they're coming to get the ball. They are not
Yeah.
sprinting towards the ball. What sort of professionalism is that? You're
Yeah,
seeing
bro.
Azam Khan coming in, not even placing his foot out. That ball is not. He's nowhere near the ball, and he's going back. He's fighting with fans. Like what? It's the attitude that actually counts, and I think that is what. If they don't fix up right now, I think that is what could cost them the tournament after all. And
No,
especially
100%, bro.
when you're considering that they are losing out to a spot to okay, if you say Ireland, okay, fine, you can understand. But now it seems like they're going to lose a spot to US, who have not played
Is
competitive
that first
cricket
World Cup?
exactly
First World Cup.
against these nations ever. When you're giving up your spot to such a team, you really have to look at yourself in the mirror.
Correct. Dude, and again, like, Babar doesn't help his case. Goes back after the game and he says, oh, my spinners didn't get me wickets.
The
Brother, you
bowlers
bowled
didn't do
4
their
overs of
job.
spin. 4 overs of spin. You bowled 3 overs of Shadab and 1 over of Iftikhar.
Iftikhar, exactly.
Brother, if you're expecting Iftikhar to get you wickets, you're in the wrong place. You're playing the wrong sport. Shadab Khan, we know, has not done well like over a while. You know he's not your strength bowler. He's struggled for the last
No,
2
I
years.
was shocked when they didn't pick Imad Wasim in the first
No,
place.
he's injured apparently. That's why
Is it? Okay.
he's got a fitness issue. But
So
basically, you
wait,
don't know if he's going to come back.
if Imad Wasim plays, then who sits out?
Probably, I actually think it'll be, yeah.
Who?
Has to be him.
Who?
Amir.
No, I think it'll not. I don't think Amir sits. I think Azam Khan will sit because if he's not keeping, what's the point? I'm not sure. I mean, let's see. It could even be Usman Khan. Like you don't know because again, he's one of those guys who's just made it. We expected Saeem Ayub to come in and open the batting, but that didn't happen. Okay. Yeah. But anyways, moving on from this to Namibia was actually a lot of the good work in this game. The Namibia Scotland game got overshadowed by the Pakistan's. I don't even know what to call it. But yeah, it was actually a pretty close game between Namibia and Scotland. Namibia batted first, 155, and dude, there was some really good hitting in this game from Gerard Erasmus, the captain. He scored 52 of 31, and I'm
Of
not
course.
surprised to see them doing well. They've got the pedigree. They've got the ability, and it's not like they didn't take the good bowlers for runs. Marquardt went for 39 in 4 overs. They batted really well, and I think on the flip side, Scotland, they were struggling, and guess who saves them? Matthew Less. So I
Matthew
think
Less.
Michael Less, sorry, really saves them. And Richie Barrington, he played a good knock as well, but Lesk, I think, really took the game away, and he changed what was going to become a hard chase became a fairly easy chase. I think you think Scotland might have missed out on those points against England because they won this game. Imagine they had won the England game. I don't know where they'd be.
I mean, they would have been in the driver's seat, right? If they won the both games,
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
beating
yeah.
England. And England Australia is always a tight game. You never know how it goes. For example, if England lost it, then you would back Scotland to go into the Super Eights again because
Yeah, dude.
I don't think they would lose, another match apart from Australia, right? So yeah, I mean, we can say that maybe who knows, England would have chased the total down also. We can't take their quality out of the picture, even though we don't know what would have happened. But they were in a good chance, like they had a good target to defend, and that a high probability of winning that game if not for the rain, because it would also be tough for England to bat in those conditions, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, unfortunate for Scotland, but again, you have to take it game by game. You can't help it. If you look at it, they're still on equal terms with England. You never know if they have a shock surprise and actually beat Australia. It's again back to England being able to beat Australia, and if that happens, then you see Australia in the back
Yeah,
seat of that. So anything can happen. So you'll have to wait and see how this game, I mean, how this group, goes towards the end of the group stage, right? So let's see how it works for Scotland. I mean, they got the job done at least for what they had to do.
yeah, and dude, like I think we have to talk about the batting depth that they have. Rishi, like we always associate Scotland with George Munsey because
George
he's the
Munsey.
big
Yeah.
left-hander at the top. But they've got so many people contributing. For example, this game, Rishi Barrington scores a 50. Brandon McMillan scores runs for them. Michael Less comes in and plays an absolute blinder, I think. So
Matthew Cross can
they've,
also
they,
bat.
yeah,
The
and
wicket
they're all
keeper.
like they can all contribute in a
Exactly.
which is
That.
quite which puts them in great stead, I think, going in to the rest of the games.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, amongst all the associate nations, I feel, of course, US have wind in their sails, but other than that, I think the Scotland batting lineup looks the most balanced. Like everyone, and not anyone's really out of favor. Like they can like you see the first game, George Munsey and Michael Jones were coming in and they put on a solid show. And now
Yeah,
when it was the tailenders or the middle order batsmen, they came in and they came in and really chipped and rescued them the game. So you see everyone are doing their bits so far. So from that perspective, it's really positive to see how much of a shared responsibility that Scotland have, considering how not treacherous but how tricky these pitches are. Like you need that. You can't just be over dependent on like one or two batsmen. Like we were saying how Virat's quality is gonna come to show, but you see the minute he lost his wicket, we're all like, dude, like what? Like we did not expect that coming from like him. So that's like I think from that perspective, the fact that these guys are all managing to share their responsibilities and all able to pitch in of not like even though if it's not match saving innings, just like of course Michael Lesk got them through across the line, but they're all chipping in and scoring a fair share of runs. That is really positive to see from Scotland's perspective.
yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah. And there's one other game left for the day, Adi. Canada Ireland. Um, of course, Canada. We saw them do well against the US. Ireland has something to prove after a really poor performance against India. Who wins this? Because I think it's actually going to be again closer than people expect.
Yeah, same. I feel like Canada can put a good fight. I mean, they did
Mhm.
the same against US. I mean, and when you look at US, they're not a weak side. They've shown that they have the quality to play against the top teams in the world. So in terms of that, Canada also looked pretty good in terms of their batting performance, especially against US. Their bowling performance was a bit weak, and I also their fielding performance was a bit weak. Maybe these two factors could, prove a factor against a team like Ireland because of their quality. The Irish lads, they have good bowling depth. I feel like their bowling is pretty good and their batting is pretty good. And yeah, it's going to come down to the small factors of how do I feel in certain times in certain positions. Do I get those catches, or are they going to be more drop catches? Because again, to be fair, yesterday when we actually look back, Pakistan, the reason they lost at the end of the day was in the last over where Shaheen Afridi dropped the catch of Adam Jones. Because if he it was a sitter, I mean there is we actually not remembering and taking these factors in, because if we took that catch, I'm 2 billion% sure US would have lost that game. There was no ways they were going to pull anything
Bro,
out of that.
midway through the game, I was just remember I put on the group saying, dude, this is so unlikely Pakistan, because they stopped two shots. I
Yeah,
think it was Shadab Khan, in point, he
Yeah,
dived and
he's the
struck.
only
but
good
Shadab
fielder.
Khan
Yeah,
is the
that's
only
exactly
good
what I was
fielder.
told.
Exactly,
Yeah, that's what I told
exactly.
you.
And I was like, dude, this is so uncharacteristic of Pakistan. The minute I said that, someone misfield. And I'm like, yeah, of course, it had to be an
Yeah,
anomaly.
exactly.
But yeah, like that's my point. Like these factors, we have to take in these factors because one again, when I talk about fielding with Pakistan yesterday, they could have saved like 5-6 runs in the super over itself, which cost
Yeah,
them
yeah,
hugely in the super over. So in terms of this thing, I feel like associated nations need to take seriously in terms of fielding, trying to stop those singles, putting pressure on the batsmen, and that's what teams like Canada need to do. And if they do that well, they will have a good chance to win. Because again, I go back to yesterday's game. You look at US the way they fielded, even in the super over. The catch he took. I forgot his name again. I'm sorry, but like it was a very good
yeah.
catch, and it was a very tough catch, right?
Milind Kumar is.
He was a substitute fielder,
Yeah,
and he was not. He didn't even play the entire game. He just came in for the super over to field, and what a brilliant catch! I mean, then you see players like Shaheen Afridi, who we talk, one of the most promising upcoming bowlers in the world, dropping a sitter, and these factors, and again Mohammad Rizwan, I mean the way he kept again very poorly. So these factors do matter, and I would like to see associate nations and especially teams like Canada to work on it and prove that because we know fielding is, at least now, it's become a factor where it's a game changer. Like you go back to the
mm,
IPL, couple of times where Virat Kohli's run outs were the factor, for RCB to literally win the game against Punjab. I feel like
yeah,
that run out was what the only reason why we won that game. And even the run out against Rajasthan was the only reason we could take that game so late till the last 2 overs. So things like this need associate associate nations need to work on it and do it, and hopefully Canada fix those issues and put a tough fight against Ireland.
yep, yep. Rishi, who wins this for you?
I think, dude, this is gonna go down to the wire. I mean, I can't see a clear cut winner in this. Maybe just see the pitch had a lot to do with the India versus Ireland game. So you can't. So maybe that's not a fair way to assess Ireland. But what other metric do we have as of now, at least?
Exactly.
So I want to say should see the Canada should win, but again, I don't feel the India game was
You
a
mean
fair enough
Ireland?
assessment to say that. Yeah,
No, he's
so
saying
again,
Canada. He thinks
He's
Canada
saying
could
Canada
win.
should win, like as the
Yeah.
favorites.
no. I think they might just edge through. That
Okay.
is
But
that is
Ireland
by just
actually,
that exactly that is just by me going off the Ireland India game, which is why I'm saying it is not a fair assessment. So I don't know. It could go down to the wire.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I feel like Ireland are just a bit better. I feel like this conditions will
Quality
be
wise, yeah.
very tough for Canada. I don't think they've played in pitches like this where you find major swing, and like I don't think Canadian players have played cricket in these kind of areas. And again, I feel like Ireland playing in a lot of their cricket in England would actually favor these conditions more, and you know would help them more. I feel like in terms of
Mm.
batting and bowling. But
Oh,
again,
it's
we'll
in
see how
New York again. The Canada
they're
Ireland
playing
game.
in. Yeah, they're playing in New
They're
York,
playing
right?
in New York. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and also apparently ICC did address the pitch conditions after the game.
Dude, how much can they do,
Hey,
dude? What
bro,
can they do? What
let's
can they do?
talk
In
about
four
the pitch.
days,
The
two
thing is,
days.
we can't do anything about the pitches now because this is a brand new pitch. You can't expect anything out of this pitch, right? They just laid it down. The first match that was played was an ICC tournament match. They haven't done anything. It's been laid only for the past 3 months.
Yeah,
So generally, you can't do anything because when you look at pitches, right, in India, anywhere in the world, like they take about 1 year for them to lay the foundations, ensure like cricket has been played there before, and that's when the pitch gets to a groove. But you can't do anything about the pitch. I think you can't shift your stadiums also now. As you can't do anything. You'll have to play with the pitches that's allotted because
Yep, yep.
you'll have to let it settle in naturally, which you can't do anyways because it takes time for it to happen. So I feel like ICC can't do anything about it now, and you just have to sit and play in the conditions.
no, I mean, I don't feel like there. To be honest, I didn't feel like there was a need for any addressing in the first place. Of course, if
I know. I think the
teams that
outfield, yeah, Rishi. I think
yeah, the
There
outfield,
are a
yeah,
lot
for
of
sure,
factors.
for sure. I'm speaking strictly in terms of the pitch
yeah,
condition.
yeah.
Because of course if you win the toss you have a chance of putting the opposition to bat first, but again it's a 50-50 chance. You get that. It again comes down to, you can't depend on winning the toss. You can't just be like, yeah, we're going to plan the game according to the assumption that we're going to win the toss. No team's going to do that. So you just have to anticipate, okay, if we win the toss or if we lose the toss, we're put to bat first. We're gonna have to be a bit cautious. We're gonna have to be wary. We're gonna have to sit in
Exactly.
and
That's
bat.
exactly.
I think it just tests your preparation. So I don't find any reason for all like the level of outcry and the level of even ICC commenting on it after that game, and I feel that is a little bit over the top.
See, the thing is, I have two things. Okay, when it comes to the pitches, one, the positive thing I feel like out of these pitches is it it kind of balances out that quality difference between two teams. For example, an associate nation and a quality team like India or like whatever your top 8 nations, top 10 nations, it kind of balances out because it's always going to be tough for them to play both the teams, and you always have a chance as a weaker team to get some wickets, put some pressure, and turn the match. Like you can see that teams like West Indies had an issue to play against.
Yeah,
Who did they play? I forgot. Uganda, right? I'm sorry.
Papua New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea. Yeah. So like whatever happens, you always find a way for these weaker teams to come and into this into the pitches, put them into play and into contention. Maybe the probability be more than 30%. Maybe we would have put like, I don't think they're going to win. Now we are always like, they have a chance, which is
Yeah,
a
they're
good
never
thing.
out of the game.
Yeah, which is a good thing. But then
Yeah.
again, I feel like when the associate nations play against each other, you're gonna get runs like 50 all out, 60 all out, 70 all out. And that's not, and they
Yes.
take 20 overs to chase that. And it's not like they're comfortable to chase the 70 runs, right? So I feel like that is again like, you get the good and the bad. Like nobody wants to sit and watch that in 20 overs, right? Like we would I, honestly tell, would you want to watch them struggle for 20 overs, score 70 runs, and then try to
Dude,
chase
I
that
think,
runs?
See,
bro,
but
I
in
Or like,
think
general,
associate. Yeah.
in general, how much of viewership do the
Yeah, I don't think
association
associate
teams
nations anybody is
generate?
watching anyways. So even
no,
if it's
but
a
but it's
170,
so
180
bad.
game,
No, but
I don't
still,
think
my
people
point
watch.
is, we would have still watched a game like US Canada. Like that was a great game. Both teams scored 190 plus. But
See, US
imagine if
Canada
the
was an
same
opener.
game, huh?
No, I
US
honestly
Canada
think
was
who
an
watched.
opening fixture also, mind you. Now, if
Yeah,
Yeah.
Papua New
yeah, but
Guinea
still,
plays someone like
I
Canada,
don't
or
think
Papua New Guinea
Papua
plays
New Guinea,
someone like Oman,
exactly.
I'm
Nobody's
like
watching.
exactly like
but
the
that is
viewership is restricted to those countries, and even in those countries, very few people, and maybe a few hundreds who go to the stadium. I don't see a lot of
that
viewership.
is irrelevant to how you want to grow the game. You can't say no one's going to watch it. Let's leave it. Who cares? Like at the end of
No,
the day,
that's
you
not the
still
point.
No, no,
The
no, no. My
point is
point
the
is
wicket has got nothing to do with it. The pitch has got nothing to do with it. Is the
no.
point.
no. My
Also, my
point is
point is
no. What I'm saying, if the pitch supported these teams, for example, I would rather be able to watch a 200 chase of Namibia and them being closer to chase that, for example, than a 70-70. Like, if, for example, you go look at the scorecard, is 70 runs. We're not even going to look at the game. We'll be like, okay, yeah, the team is who's going to chase is
Okay.
going to win this. Like, there's no point. But for example, it's like 180, 190. You would and like the chasing team has a chance to win it. They have a chance to lose it. And if, for example, they're doing well, you would still tune into the game to see what's going to happen. At least the last 4 overs, 5 overs, you would still be in the contention to watch the game, have some form of entertainment to watch. Like, I don't think that's going to happen with these kind of. My point is not the pitches. My point is like it's a good and a bad sword for it's like a double-edged sword for the associate nations
See, but
itself.
tell me
Yeah.
this: if would you, which is more likely for you to tune into a game between, say, a Papua New Guinea or Nigeria versus, say, Oman, where both teams are struggling, or a game like a Pakistan USA, a game like an England Scotland, where because of the pitch, the level of the difference, the stark difference in talent is negated. So it's pretty much anyone's game.
See, but the
So
point is, I'm still going to watch a Pakistan USA. I think we would have watched it yesterday, regardless of what would have
yeah,
happened.
true,
Right?
true, true,
That's my
true.
point.
Now I'm saying the England Scotland the England Scotland game. Adil Rashid had to slow it down a lot. The minute he quickened the pace, the minute anyone gave a little bit pace for the ball, it was traveling everywhere. So the fact that these people had to plan, these people had to bowl strategically, that puts the opposition and albeit an associate nation into the game. And that when that happens, I feel your viewership naturally is going to increase because I see at least me and I think most of us would want to watch an associate nation versus a favorite going into a game where associate nation is also very much involved in the game and has a chance to always win the game. And when that happens, I feel the viewership generally tends to increase more than two associations playing and both of them are struggling. And how
Yeah,
much
yeah.
how much does that happen, like, also?
No, I
No,
think I think
that is. I already told that it's always going to help associate nations play against strong teams. I'm just saying it's also a bad thing for them is because then again you're going to get games like 70 runs, 70, 80 odd runs,
See,
and the second team
there
chasing
I
them.
feel the advantage for both the teams is that they are not playing cricket, or say they're not facing the Jafar Archers, you're not facing the Bumrahs, you're facing players who are similar to your caliber. If the pitch is difficult, you're not facing an express fast bowler and you're not facing a spinner who's turning corners. So I feel you are already in the game. It's about how you plan, how you play out, how you put your skills to test. So I feel that need not be, at least that's my view. Where of course when you're playing a favorite, you are playing, it's already an uphill task. But when you're playing, like, two like nations who are in the similar sphere, I
Yeah,
feel,
that, yeah. Sorry.
yeah, yeah. So I feel you, like, since the talent pool is almost the same, I feel it doesn't, that kind of puts, like, the game already at a neutral state. Even though,
yeah.
if, yeah, agreed that both
Neutral
teams are
state, I
survived.
agree,
Like,
but my point is, as a game, you'd rather watch a team score 200 and chase a 200 run than a team scoring 70 run and chase 70 runs. That's all I'm saying. I'm
yeah, that's
not
true. That's
talking about new. I know that the quality is going to be tough. Like, for example, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, US is chasing Canada for 190. It was still more entertaining because they had something to play for. But
yeah.
like, if having runs like 70, you wouldn't want to watch. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, for the associate nations, you're still going to find the better quality team win it. But I'm just saying, like, you would rather end up watching, if, for example,
A
Namibia
little
is
bit of
chasing,
firepower. Yeah,
yeah, and it's like 50 runs of like the last 5 overs. You know there's a possibility. You would just want to watch it for that sake. That's
yeah,
all I'm trying to say.
yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, yeah, guys. Well, on the pitch, actually, for me, I don't think it's true for me. At least, like personally speaking, I would actually even watch 120 chase, where it's 30 of the last 5 overs and 50 of the last five.
When
For
you
me,
know
it's the
that
same.
when you
Like for
when
me,
you know that
it makes no difference.
you can't easily just go down the track and hit a few and get.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly. For me, it makes no difference. But anyways,
yeah.
yeah. We'll wrap it up there, guys. Rashid and Nadi, thanks for joining in. Yeah, guys, more cricket action. Look forward to Pakistan
New
match.
Zealand
We'll
game
introduce.
tonight, tomorrow, by the
Yeah,
way.
which one?
New Zealand, right? They're
Just
playing
New
tomorrow.
Zealand, Afghanistan. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
forgot about that.
Isn't
The
that
biggie.
evening?
No, that's 5 a.m. That's a morning game.
Tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, quickly, you guys want to chip in New Zealand, Afghanistan?
I feel like this is going to be a very exciting game. Unfortunately, it's going to be early morning, so I don't think I'll be watching it. But I actually
No,
want to
no,
see
no.
this. I want to see this New Zealand team play,
Yeah.
because I'm actually excited for them. I don't know what their combination is going to be, especially in top of the order. And the entire team seems exciting. I would actually rather watch them play, especially against Afghanistan, who actually had a great start to the World Cup. So it would have actually been a fun game. I don't know why it's at 5 a.m. It should have been
The
the
8
game
a.m.
which we should have been watching today, right? But whatever, like,
Mm.
not too much about it. But I feel like New Zealand, I had totally forgotten about them, but like, because I don't think they played any practice match, I haven't thought about them for a while. But actually, looking at them, they have a very nice, solid squad. And looking at these conditions, I think bowlers like Trent Bolt will have a lot of fun in these pitches.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. New Zealand, Afghanistan, of course, we've got
They're
well, it's
playing
happening well.
Guyana, Afghanistan are
So
likely
yeah,
to
so
play three spinners at least.
exactly. So spinners will come in. Of course, both teams will be interesting to see who. Of course,
No,
Afghanistan have
but
the better spinners, but New Zealand have the better batting. So yeah, that way we'll just have to wait and watch. Yeah, guys, that's all we have time for today. But we will come back after these games tomorrow to discuss them. So yeah, thanks Rishi and Adi for joining in. Everybody who is watching, please like and share the videos and subscribe to Sports Kabli. See you.